Okay, guys, this is probably going to be like the coolest outfit you ever see me in. So if you're watching this on YouTube, yeah, you're welcome. I was at Sam's Club the other day and my for no parenting like reason of mine. Like I did not cause this. This is just who he is. He's like obsessed with boys wanting blue and girls wearing pink. Like again, I have another kid that doesn't do that. So it's just him. But he saw this shirt and it's got like a leopard on it. It says Def Leopard. It was at Sam's Club. It was $8. He was like, "Oh, mommy, you need that because you like pink because you're a girl. Can you please buy it?" And I was like, "You know what? I do need that. That is actually a really cool rad shirt. Thank you." So yeah, I love that. Now he keeps asking if I can find him one in blue, but it's not happening. So, anyways, welcome. Welcome back to the Vortex. Thanks for listening to that cute little story about my family. I just got off this podcast episode where we were talking about being a multidimensional human. Like, what is like one spiritual truth you wish like people would just unfilter, spiritual leaders would unfilter? And it's like the multidimensionality of this experience. Like, I am a spiritual leader. I channel light language. I help people dive deep into the quantum and get the codes, frequency, and information to build their intuitive quantum businesses. And I'm a mom, and I'm a wife, and I'm a partner, and I am all of these things, and they exist together. They exist with each other and for each other. It's not one or the other like it's meant to be. And that kind of leads me to what I want to talk about today. I had like such a great conversation with my husband last night about his career and his job, and then my business and my job. And for the astrologers listening, it's important to note that my husband and I are both Cancer South nodes, Capricorn North nodes. So the high achieving, the drive, the movement towards a aligned life for us has a lot to do with leaving different familial structures or like breaking those karmic ties and moving into the world of business. So it's no surprise that we are who we are and that we're doing the things that we're doing. Now, I want to chat about my husband and I's relationship just a little bit, and he knows that I talk about this freely. Hopefully, one day we can get him on the podcast and I can really get in there and discuss it, but he's really busy, just as I am. So, one thing about us is that we are soulmates. Like, there are things that happen in this lifetime as a soul-led being, as a aligned person, like you just cannot explain. And me and my husband meeting each other and getting married was one of those things. Like I met him when I was dating someone else, and it was like I looked at him and I thought, I want to marry someone like him, or I want to be dating someone like him. And then we never saw each other again because he lived in a different city or like almost a different state. And then I ended up breaking up with my boyfriend for other reasons, moved out, got like really secure within myself. And it was the night I graduated college. I was sitting at the bar and my husband walked up to me. He was in town for something else. And he looks at me and he says, "Hey, I think we know each other." This is like 9 months, almost like a year later. He said, "Hey, I think we know each other." I was like, "We do." Like, here's my number. And it was, of course, like it was over from there. Everything kind of worked out the way it was supposed to work out. And it was only like after the fact that we dated and got married that we were looking at our stories of like where we almost went to college or who we almost hang out with or like the circle of friends that we were in. Like it was always like overlapping that we would eventually meet. Like there was so many coincidences in our journey and our story and how we met and how it came to be that there is nothing more than the universe at work bringing us together. So he is my soulmate. He is my person. Just a little history. So last night we got to talking just about like our careers and our jobs and like things that we're doing, like our soul alignment forward. And I obviously have this soul aligned business. I'm the quantum psychic. I had this huge awakening. My goal is to get more people into the quantum, to lead an intuitive led business, to lead an intuitive led life. That is everything that I went through in my life was for this purpose. Now, he's always had another vision too, right? He's always had his goal, his purpose. He's always known that he was going to be successful. He was always known that he's going to go very well in his company and in his career. He's always known that about himself, even before he met me and he had kids. And like he had to reframe like what that idea of success looks like in his life. It's going to look different now. It's going to be different now. And he's adjusted his frequency. He's adjusted his expectations. He's reframed his perspective and continued to move forward towards that goal. It is no surprise then that for two very highly driven people, career driven people that know that without a doubt they're meant to be doing these things in this world, and they have two kids and they're multidimensional beings living a multidimensional life, and we are late to school sometimes and we don't know what to cook for dinner and we forgot to take the trash out on trash day, that it gets a little stressful. It gets a little, I don't want to say tense. It's just like, what do we do now? Like, what's our next move? What's our next step? And I'm so grateful to have a supportive partner. I know some people are still working on holding that frequency for their partner to join them there. I do have a very, very supportive partner. Last night, I just kind of told him, like, I just wish, this is me being like totally vulnerable here. I just wish that it would make me happy to be the person that, gushes about school lunch and like wants to do the laundry, and like being the mom and the caretaker of the home fulfills them. And if that's you and you're listening and you're like, no, I really like doing like that's amazing. That is your calling. That is your purpose. Like there's no shame. It's just not for me. And I know that if I were to stop what I'm doing now to support him and his goal and did, the laundry and made sure his stuff was ironed and made sure the meals were all homemade and made sure I was dropping them off at practice to and from over and over rather than outsource it or rather than just kind of know that it's all going to work out, that yes, I would be supporting him and his vision, but it would not be the best outcome for our marriage, for our life, for our relationship, for our family. Because it would be easier, right? It would be easier to say, well, I'll just do this and support you. And then when it's my time, like, then maybe I can take a stab at it, right? That would be easier. But when I sacrifice that part of myself and say, oh, well, I'll just do what's easier rather than do the uncomfortable thing or the rather than, try to figure out how to make this both work, then I'm sacrificing a part of myself and I'm sacrificing my happiness. I'm sacrificing what makes me me. I'm sacrificing this need and desire and soul calling that is keeps like your soul calling will keep calling you. So it's kept calling me over and over and over, and I know it's meant for me. I know it's my soul goal. I know it's my desire. I know it's who I'm meant to be and how I'm meant to show up in this world. I know it's how I'm meant to help people. So if I stopped doing this and I gave up this soul calling and to make it easier for our family, it would be easier temporarily. And then it would be hard. And then I would be sad. And then I'd be depressed. And then I'd fill that with mind numbing things like I used to do when I was back as being a nurse practitioner. I would drink more. I would watch mindless television. I would be depressed. I would be medicated. It's like all of these things. It's like, what are you sacrificing for the sake of ease, for the sake of fitting in, for what you perceive in your world to be a good mother or a good partner or a good wife, or like what does good mean to you? And what are you sacrificing of yourself then to fulfill that role, that perception that you have in your life? And so conversely, if he gave up his vision to support my vision, it's like, okay, well, maybe you just don't work and then, support me and then it can go faster and faster. It's like, what would he be giving up? Something that was like really big in the online space recently with entrepreneurs is like, I want to make enough to retire my husband. Like, absolutely not. I will never retire him. There's no way. Him walking around without his sole purpose, without his sole goal, without his vision moving and propelling him forward. That is a life I do not want to live. And that is a life that he does not want to live. He wants us both, and I want us both completely wrapped in our purpose and our calling, and knowing that it's going to be okay, knowing that it's on its way to us, knowing that it's going to work out. Would it be easier? Yes, but then the temporary ease would then fall into other things that are way more difficult to navigate, way more difficult to be together. So, what does this mean for us? Like, what does this mean moving forward? Like, what are we supposed to do with the push and the pull and the tug? It's like, how do we do this? How do we continue to move forward in our life and our visions, while still supporting each other when it seems like what are we going to have for dinner tonight? Again. And what we decided, and what we've come up on, and I hope that this inspires you, is that we know that it's done. He knows his vision is done. I know my vision is done. I may not know his vision is done. He may not know my vision is done, but we know that our own individual visions are done. It's done. We've held the frequency. We're continuing to hold the frequency. We're continuing to do the work and show up as this version of ourselves that has it all, knows it all. It is done. It is done. It is done. The contracts have been signed. The clients have been received. The money's been in our bank account. Boom, boom, boom. It's done. It's done. It's done. And then we also have mutual respect and understanding that I want them to be happy. I don't want them to sacrifice short-term pleasure or short-term ease and fulfillment for like long-term sadness or long-term loss, Because I can't be a successful or an effective mother if I'm not fulfilling my soul purpose. He can't be the best father and husband that he can be if I'm asking him to give up a piece of himself. There's no way. That's not how this works. And there's absolutely no way that we would have met each other and had this universal moment of bringing our soulmate together into us, and having our children and living in the house that we're in and having the responsibilities that we have. But we still have these visions. We still know that it's done. Our soul is still calling out to us in all of our desires and all of our wants and our needs. And we have the confidence and the trust and the foundation to know that it's done, that our soul calling is our calling. We would not be given this soul desire and this calling and this frequency pulling us and moving us toward and forward to a new vision, a new life that we are welcoming in for ourselves and for our family. We would not know that that's done without one of the kids, or with no kids, or with less responsibilities, or with a smaller house, or with two dogs, not one dog. No. In the capacity that we are right now as humans, as 3D beings, knowing our soul purpose, moving forward in our vision, continuing to take aligned actions every single day, we would not be given that vision and that desire if it was not possible to bring into this dimension and this reality with what we are already equipped with. So a lot of times I see this, people will come in and be like, well, the time's not right, or, oh, well, this job's kind of in the way, or after this is done, or after, well, whenever the kids are older. If you have a vision for your life, if you have a vision and a calling that's speaking out to you, showing you the path forward, leading your heart, leading yourself, leading your space forward into a new way of being, into a new reality that's stretching what's possible for you right now, that's stretching your mind, stretching your finances, stretching your entire energetic aura into this new way of being. You would not be given this vision if it wasn't already done, if it wasn't possible to be done with what you already have within your vortex right now. It's not about waiting to be successful. It's not about waiting to lead yourself. It's not about creating the income that you need to then show up for yourself in your business. It's not about waiting till the kids are older, or waiting till you're more settled, or waiting till, the boom, boom, the right, quote unquote, right time. If your soul is leading you, you must lead yourself. And you cannot have a soul desire that you know is yours, that you feel is calling you, that's leading and pulling you into a direction, and it be wrong. You can achieve that goal. You can achieve that moment in mission with everything that you have in your vortex right now. That's why your soul is calling out to you. That's why it's showing you this vision. That's why it's showing you and telling you to listen, and that it can be done and it will be done with what you have right now. I know this to be true. And I see it all the time in my clients, in my own life, in my friends, in my circle. I see it. The thing that stops you from moving forward is fear. Will I be a good mom? Will I have enough money? Will there be clients? Will people be interested in what I have to say? How can I do that when I have XYZ going on? The truth is if you hold the frequency of your soul-led desires, and you know that it's coming, and you know that it's on its way to you, and you tap into that vortex, and you tap into the quantum, and you allow that gratitude to move through you, and you allow that feeling to wash over your body, to wash over your energy, and you know that it's done, and you know that it's done, and you know that it's done, the law of attraction states that it will find you, like finding like. You cannot show up and lead yourself and say, well, when everything's okay, when it's this, then I'll have it, or when I get to this amount, then I'll move forward. It's now. How are you leading yourself now? How are you in your vision and timeline now? You can be a mother and a wife and a partner and have a business. You can run your house and your kids and have a business. You can support them in their endeavors and have a business. And they can have their career and their objectives and their true north and what they're moving towards, and have you and have this life and have this beautiful balance and interplay that moves together in frequency. You would not have these ideas and visions unless it was your soul telling you what is the way forward. So what is your way forward? What are you being called to today? What is the vision that you have for your future? And are you living it? Are you moving towards it in alignment? Are you taking embodied action, 3D action from your 5D downloads, from your channeling, from your vision, from as the version of me that knows that it's done and shows up in this capacity and has all that she wants and desires and the life, peace, abundance, joy, and wealth and health that is mine? How am I showing up? How am I brushing my teeth? How am I walking? How am I talking? What am I eating today? Are you showing up as that person? Or are you waiting for your time? Because right now is your time. And if you're in divine partnership and divine unionship and you have somebody else that's working on a soul goal, guess what? They can exist simultaneously. They can not only exist simultaneously and exist together, they were always meant to exist together. You were always meant to travel this journey with them. You were always meant to have these desires and move forward in this divine interplay of energy and connection so that you can bring your mission to people. And what I love, and I always come back to this, is that if you are facing difficulty, if you're like, well, I don't know how I'm supposed to afford mentorship. I don't know what I'm supposed to put on the table to feed these kids. I don't know how to keep up with the laundry and run a business. Guess what? You're going through that because there is something in your life, in your future, and how you come up to your clients and the mission that you're embodying and sharing with other people that you need to learn this lesson now so that you can bring it forward in your wisdom in the future. These people are waiting for you. You are one of one, and you are one of all, and you are here to elevate the consciousness of humanity. Laundry can't bring you down. Dinner can't bring you down. Worrying and fear and lack and scarcity about money and lack of money or, that can't bring you down. You have to know who you are, know who your mission is, and move forward. Because every day you don't move forward and you hold still, you are sacrificing a piece of your soul. You are sacrificing a piece of your mission, sacrificing a piece of your fulfillment. And if you keep sacrificing these little pieces of yourself, waiting, 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 you'll try to fill these pieces up. You'll try to fill them up with money, with drugs, with Netflix, with passive behavior, with scrolling, with drinking, with handbags, with vacations, with whatever you feel like might cool that, not like numb that sensation of emptiness in your body. And it works a little bit for a little bit. And then you'll always come back to my soul is calling me to something more. I am meant for something more in this lifetime. And it's not until you acknowledge it and step into it and stop sacrificing pieces of yourself for someone else or pieces of yourself for what you think that it means to be a good mother, partner, wife, or friend. It's not until you come back to fullness, back to wholeness, back to your soul, back to your mission, vision, and purpose, back to who you are and who you have always been. Rooted down in your mission, rooted down in your authenticity, rooted down in your truth. It's not until you come back to that you will feel this fulfillment and the echoes of the impact that you make when you strike that chord of resonance within you will ripple out to all who those it's meant to. So I hope this episode lands in the laps and in the ears of people who may be experiencing something else. How am I supposed to be a mother and a businesswoman? How am I supposed to handle all these things and do this? How am I supposed to support my partner's dream and then mine? And I'm here to tell you it's okay to dream. It's safe to dream. It's your birthright to dream bigger, to dream wider, to take yourself to the edge of your limitations and then let your limitations fall away. And when your limitations fall away and you stand in the expansiveness of the cosmos, of the quantum of the universe, and you choose your most fulfilling and desired timeline and allow it to wash over you. Allow the gratitude to wash over you. Allow it all to seep into every pore and cell of your being. And you experience that true fulfillment. There's nothing like it.